All right, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We're bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We are trying this new technology out. Oh, my God. We had a computer issue. We've had so many different problems in the last hour and a half. But you know what? Hopefully, we are really going to see this is going on, and we're going to make sure this works. So, you know what? We're going to try something else right now, but here we go.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
So hopefully everyone can hear that, because I think that was our little thing that we always like to play. Oh, good. Yes, we can hear all that. So we're going to wait a couple minutes before we jump in. I think we're going to try to have some fun today. This is going to be a new feature. We're checking to see if the soundboard works. We're going to have a little bit of a call-in show, and we are going to see how this if this works or not. You know what? We need to keep our fingers crossed. Kind of like the 2021 season and free agency. We got to keep the fingers crossed and hope this is going to work out for the best. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give it a couple more minutes, and we're going to make sure everything looks like everyone that we have said that was going to participate is joining online. And you know what? We're going to try the first caller right now. And I'm going to say, and I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. And I'm going to see if he can unmute his line. And it's going to be Svi. Let's see if he unmutes his line for me. I just sent him the ping to unmute it.
Hello?
Svi, are you there?
Tim, how are you?
I'm doing well. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, you're saying perfectly.
Oh, good. Because the last time I checked, if I remember my Hebrew, it is deer. I believe that's what the word is in Hebrew. I'm.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
my father's Israeli.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's good to know. Well, I'm glad, you know what, you have been one of our biggest supporters, and I'm glad you could come in and, give us a try here. So I'm going to open up to
you.
Yes,
I wanted to tell you that I enjoy your show very much. I look forward to the videos when I'm in the gym every morning. So, you're one of the top guys right there with, I ain't a bad dog, but you've grown the last few weeks. So I especially had to go back yesterday and listen to your video twice, your scream. I went back at night to listen to it again about Rio, because I think that this Leonard Williams thing is emerging as maybe our, it's the biggest thing for us right now for our future.
Right.
And a lot of the things you said are true. I was always said, I do not want to let Tomlinson go, because I watched the guy play. He's a leader, and I know how you say that the secondary is a big reason why Leonard had a huge season last year. But I also studied a lot of the plays from the games over the year, and people don't realize Tomlinson and Dexter are also huge reasons why Leonard was able to run free all year.
Oh, 100%. And I think that is the issue with some people, that they don't understand, that they see the sacks, but they don't see the other portions of what he's able to accomplish behind the team, and and how he sets up Blake Martinez.
Totally.
This $49 Wi-Fi
I understand that we have to.
The world.
Whoops! Did I lose you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I understand that we have to use the money for. I know the Giants have to get Jones some weapons. If we're gonna find out what Jones can really be, we have to put some more around him, especially down the field wide receiver. I would think, of the taller version, but I don't want to, this defense, I think this defense can be big time. And I don't want to I don't really want to let either of the guys go, but I'm not paying this guy $20 million. I don't even want to pay him $18 million. To be honest, I'm with Gettleman, and Gettleman knows how to play hardball. He's not a stupid guy. I know a lot of people, they don't love the guy of his old school ways, but you know what? I like the way the guy. I like Gettleman a lot. I believe he's done a lot of good things here the last few years. It's just that we're not gonna see it maybe until another year or two. But I think he's putting together a real good, young, strong team. He's building the Giants through the defense, which is historically what we are. It would help if Barkley comes back healthy. I think that would be tremendous for this football team.
Oh, I agree 100%. I just want to ask if anyone out there in the chat, can you hear everything? Because I've gotten a couple comments that people are having a hard time with the audio. So I'm just wondering if if someone could ping me and let me know, like ECK Sports, can you hear us? I'm hoping, because like I said, this is new here and everything seems to be working on my end, but I don't know if anyone can hear anything. Yes, we hear you. All right. I wanted to double check to make sure. If you can't hear us and you're just getting the audio, I would just restart your Jose G. I just want you guys to restart your YouTube. Because maybe it's just you might just be having a problem on your end. But like I said, you know what? Gettleman, I bash Gettleman a lot, and I don't give Gettleman all the credit in the world. And because of the fact that he's done some things right, but he's also done some things wrong. And we just gotta kind of hope and pray that he is going to be able to finish leading this team, Svi. And I hope from your perspective, like I said, I'm not giving Leonard Williams the money. I can't give him the money for 1 out of 6.
Well, what's your cutoff line right now? What's your cutoff number?
My cutoff
What's
number?
the number you would give him if he will sign a 4-year deal? What's the number you would give him? And we can give him a little less this year and a little more next year,
yes,
obviously, because of our cap situation.
Yes, my thing is, honestly, if it was me, I wouldn't give him more than $12 million, because I've said it before.
So basically, you're saying let him go.
My thing is, he's got 11 sacks last year. I can easily see him reverting back to 3.5, 5.5 sacks. And that's the thing.
And this is a guy that said he wanted to play with Tomlinson. They've become best friends. And like you said, man, the Giants have brought him here and they put him back on the map big time.
Yep.
And you have a young, strong defense, and you're one of the big faces of it. You would think this guy would want to work something out to stay here and take the Giants in the direction they're going. He's not getting. Listen, the Giants aren't giving this guy $20 million. We all know that. The Giants don't do that. I mean, And I also wanted to touch on maybe 2 guys in the draft that I've been looking at, and I looked at a lot yesterday. The second one, I'll go with the second one first, which is I don't know if you're taking a look at this Rashad Bateman, but a lot of people are not talking about him. He's right there with those top 3 receivers.
I like Bateman.
If you want to throw Pitts in there.
I like Bateman. He reminds me of Michael Pitts Jr., who came out last year and went to Indianapolis. I think Bateman can be had early in the second round. That's why I think we should go defense in the first round. But I like him. I think he can be a productive receiver. I think he could be a big target for Daniel Jones. And I think he could be, like I said, I think he could be the guy. But I'm also fearful that someone may jump up in the low 20s, early 30s and grab him at that point in time. Someone will come up towards the bottom of the draft and pick it up, sort of like we did with our old buddy DeAndre Baker, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think he makes it out of the first round. I'll tell you right now. And he's climbing up the boards right now. He's climbing, and he's doing it, and it's quiet. Climbing up the boards quietly. He's a real good. The guy I love is Waddle, and I do not like Smith. I've told some of my friends I do not. I'm scared of Smith. I think Waddle is so much better than Smith. But the other guy I wanted to bring up, and you've heard me say this in the chats, and if he's there at 11, I hope the Giants listen. This guy Micah Parsons is special. This is a special player. They don't come around.
What about the rumors out of Penn State?
I don't care about them.
Okay.
And in the past, we buy into these rumors. Like, I get it. Okay, the Giants are a classy organization. They want good, smart, educated guys. But you know what? Sometimes you need a rough, dirty guy on the defense. You need that in order to give your defense attitude, take them to that top level, like we've seen with the Ravens over the years and the Steelers. And the Giants had those guys in the 80s and early 90s, and they've gotten away from that. And this guy, and I believe that story. I don't know how much of it is true. He's never had a problem before. This guy on the field is an animal. And a lot of people think he's just a middle linebacker. This guy off the edge is a beast. Okay? And he also will bring vocal leadership to this defense. He will be the type of player that makes other players have to play 5 times better than they are, and there's no slacking, or he's going to let you know about it. And we need one of those.
I can tell you're a little bit passionate on him. So I personally don't think he's going to be there at 11.
I don't either.
But like I said, I have been crying for the Giants to take a linebacker. I don't know for how long now, and I've been hoping they will, but I don't think they are. But Svi, I'm going to let you go because we got a couple of the people here on the line.
All right, I
appreciate
the time, okay?
you
Thank
calling.
You very much.
Hey, listen, man, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you calling in, and like I said, hopefully this technology seems to be working right now. So.
Yeah.
We may
do
this some more, but I do appreciate you coming. If you could just drop off the Zoom, we are gonna go to our next caller. But like I said, I appreciate you 100% coming in, my man.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are gonna go to our We are gonna go to our next, and we are going to go with let's see here. We're gonna go with Jon Snow. We have talked to John a couple times before, multiple times in the chat. If you can unmute your line, I just sent you a request, and let's see. We'll give it a few more minutes for John. Listen, if we're going to do this a little bit better coming up with the call in, we're going to use other services where you actually can just dial in into a number. John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. How you doing, man?
Dude, John, how are you doing? It's good. It's good to talk to you. I enjoy a lot of your comments. And I like the fact that you call me out sometimes.
Yeah, I do it constructively. It all, from the heart,
Oh, I feel the love. So, but I appreciate
right.
you coming in and testing out the technology. So, what do you got for me today?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the needs, my thoughts on the GM. And what I feel we should do,
okay,
versus what I think we'll do. So first off, I want to say that I'm a big fan of the show. I think you really caught me when you were the first kind of person to link the Giants to Andrew Thomas. Like during the 2020 draft, everyone kind of thought that the Giants would go with Wirfs or with Simmons, but you were like the first guy to say, "Oh well, Thomas is actually the guy."
I appreciate it, but I can't take credit for that. That tidbit was given to me by a gentleman who was a former scout who had been working around East Rutherford, who told me, and I even said in the video that he told me that the Giants would not pass on Andrew Thomas at 4. He guaranteed. And that was shocked to me that he guaranteed, and he was worried that he might have gone to Washington. And I was, but I do appreciate that. But like I said, that was I would say that was a little bit of reporting, but I honestly wish I would have called that. I would look like a genius.
The thing is though, a lot of the beat reporters didn't have sources that good. So I give you credit there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I feel like first off, I think the GM's a bit of a contentious topic. Some people like him, like a lot of the older people like him, like the boomers. They think he's a great old school guy. Some people hate him. I'm more on the dislike side. I feel like his moves have been mostly contentious, in my opinion. Starting off in 2018 when he botched the rebuild and took a running back second overall. He ignored the trade. He ignored the trade offers with Denver. That could have really set us up nicely down the road. I feel he also botched the O-line rebuild. The O-line has been terrible now for the last 4 years, and he really hasn't done much to improve it. Thomas was very up and down. He led the league in pressures and sacks. The right tackle position, still a mystery. Is it going to be Parrott? Is it going to be Solder if they restructure him? The 2 guard spots have been an issue, and also the center has been an issue as well. What are your thoughts on them taking maybe a lineman with the 11th pick?
You know what? It's not a sexy pick. And that's the thing. And that's what a lot of Giants want. They want the sexy pick. They want that. They want the receiver. They want Pitts. The team.
Yeah. You know what?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Cause I'm asking because I feel like, this year, other than Sewell, who is generational, there really isn't much of a lineman prospect that I would take that high. I mean, I see people talk about Slater. I see people talk about the kid from Virginia Tech, Darisaw, but I'm not really a fan of their tape. I mean, I watch all the prospects, and to me, I'm not sure if they're worth the top 15 pick.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll just give you my opinion on what we should do. In terms of what we should do with the top 15 pick, I'm a believer in taking value, right? And I believe that you should take needs into account as well. But I feel like the value needs to be there. And if you look at our needs, obviously wide receivers, the biggest need. Second biggest need is probably edge. Third, I'd probably give O-line, interior O-line. And fourth, I'd give corner. Now, if you look at all those needs, and if you look at the value, I feel the best value that fills our needs is with wide receiver.
Right.
Because you have, in my opinion, four good ones. You have obviously Chase, who I don't think will be there. I think Chase is probably going to go to Miami, and if not Miami, he'll go to Detroit. So I don't think Chase will be there. The other guy that I like is Smith. I know Smith, a lot of people don't like him because of the size or whatever, but if you see him play, like you watch all his games, he has incredible play strength. He plays
bigger than his size.
Oh, for sure. And he's like around 171, 175.
Yep.
He plays like a guy who's like 200 pounds.
Yes.
And actually, an interesting thing that was tweeted out by Chad Cinco yesterday was that Chad Johnson said he played at around 175 himself as his NFL career. He said it didn't matter to him. And when you watch Smith play, in my opinion, he's the most polished guy out of all the wide receivers. He runs all the routes. He's got incredible releases. He basically has the most advanced release scheme out of any of the receivers, in my opinion. He knows how to separate from the stem. He's got good speed. He's got good quickness. He's very twitchy. And on top of that, he's got really good ball skills. So I really like Smith a lot. I know a lot of people are worried about the size, but to me, it doesn't matter. He knows how to play. Obviously, Waddle, which has been linked to the Giants a lot, he's really good. I feel like people are worried that he might be a one-trick pony. But unlike other one-trick pony speed receivers, I feel he has really good controlled speed. He knows when to stop and how to stop. He can stop on a dime. He has good quickness in and out of breaks, something that Slayton doesn't have, which is why Slayton can't run anything other than go balls and slant routes.
Right.
This guy can run all the routes. He's got really good ball skills. He's got really good hands too, which a lot of speed receivers don't have. He kind of reminds me of like Tyreek Hill. I know it's a lazy comp, but to me, he's like very much like Tyreek Hill in the way that they're not only fast, but they're very aggressive and tough with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, and I mean, I could see that, but like I said, that's a I always get leery when we start comparing guys that haven't even taken an NFL snap to someone that's
for sure.
You know, that's always been my thing, because my big thing is you never know what you get with someone until year 3. They have their breakout season, they have their sophomore slump most of the time, then you really know what a player is.
Right, and I don't think it's fair to give them that comp. Just like you try to find similar play styles so people can kind of visualize and understand how they would fit with your team.
Oh, 100%.
And I think the fourth guy, I think you guys have been a little bit sleeping on Bateman. I think Bateman makes a lot of sense in the top 15. If not sure if you're aware, but yesterday during the EXO Combine, you know what he ran?
4.39.
4.39, and with his polish, I think he makes a lot of sense for us at 11. I mean, if you watch how he plays, he, in my opinion, he's like the second best route runner in the draft behind Smith. He releases really well off the line. He's able to get vertical separation, which is important in our offense.
Oh yeah.
He runs all the vertical routes, like the go ball, the digs, it's called the post routes, the corner route. He runs all that really well. And he's actually underrated with the ball in his hands. And if he runs like 4.3, 4.4, I think that makes a lot of sense for us as an X receiver in his offense. And what I see now in free agency is, we should definitely, look to retain our defensive line because they were amazing. And I agree with what you said, that the coverage really helped them get sacks. But in a way, I feel like the D-line also helped the linebackers, attack. Like, look at Blake Martinez.
100%.
Look at Blake Martinez with the Packers.
Yeah.
He got smoked. Because they didn't have a very good D-line. But because we had Dexter Lawrence and Dalvin Tomlinson eating blocks and occupying space, they were able to, roam around. So I think it's kind of
and that's 100% reason why I would not be upset if Leonard Williams walked and we kept Dalvin Tomlinson, because of the fact that I've said that multiple times, that he offers protection for the second level. He allows Blake Martinez to have his vision and put himself in the proper position to make the tackle on the ball carrier. Now, I'm not saying Leonard Williams isn't helping in that regards, but it's just the fact that the two guys up front are really what makes, I personally think Blake Martinez.
I 100% agree. I think I'm going to be honest with, I know a lot of Giants fans aren't going to like it, but Martinez isn't an elite linebacker. He's a good linebacker, but not elite. And the Giants D-line is what made him look elite, right? Because a lot of them go untouched and attack and use his instincts to make plays. And I feel like you're absolutely true. Like a really good 0-1 technique like Tomlinson, who can eat blocks, occupy space, and take the center and the guard. That's super underrated for a defense, especially the defense that we run, where we do a lot of stunts and blitzes, where we need to occupy linemen. That's like the perfect guy to have. And another thing is that in terms of the edge, we need edge rushers. First off, I think that the edge rush talent in this draft is very bad.
Yes, it's not there.
Exactly. And from where we're picking, I would hate to take one of those edge guys. I'm going to give you my opinion on them just very quickly. I think Kwity Paye is more of a 4-3 wide end. He doesn't have the length to be an elite edge player. He's got really good, really good hand usage.
Yep.
But his arm length is kind of dino arm. You got the kid from Georgia, Azeez Ojulari, really good, tools, but in my opinion, unrefined. I like him more in the 20s. And then you have the Miami guys. I like Jalen Phillips, and I think if Phillips had no red flags, like the injury issues, then I think he would make a lot of sense for us at 11 because he's got incredible talent. But the problem with him is that he retired for like a year, and you're worried about how he's going to handle playing an NFL workload, especially with his injuries, especially with, I think, his concussions and other ankle injuries that he's had. And the guy that I really hate, this is the guy that if we take, I'm going to
does it start with an R and sound like LaRusso?
Oh my God.
I'm just taking a guess there.
I don't see the fascination with this guy. I mean, people say he's like JPP, but at least with JPP, when he was coming out, I know this is like back in 2010, he actually had really good traits. Like he had a good first step. He had bend. He had twitchiness. I don't see it with Rizzo. Like I watched his games, and I have the old 22 game tape as well. If you're interested, I can give you the old 22. I have a good plug. But if you see him, most of his sacks are either on stunts, coverage, or they're unblocked,
right?
Or he goes off against a tight end. And to me, if he had those edge traits like bend, if he had twitchiness, if he had speech power, if he had good burst of luck, to me he doesn't have any of that. So I really wouldn't take him at 11. To me, that's like taking Eli Apple over Laramie Tunsil and other good players, because to me he's like a really good quote unquote athlete, but he can't play. Yeah. And I feel like we can't take players like that, especially in the shape that we're in now. And just some more thoughts, I guess, about the wide receivers in free agency. I'd rather take a blue chip guy like Chase, Waddle, Smith, Bateman at 11 than overpay for a mediocre guy like Samuel or Davis. To me, the two receivers that I really like in free agency, I think are kind of out of our price range. I think that's Robinson, but Robinson probably doesn't want to come here.
Right.
And Galladay, who the Lions are
Robinson has never played with a quality quarterback. I mean, why? I mean, not saying that Daniel Jones is not a quality quarterback, but
For sure.
Daniel Jones is that Pro Bowler.
Yeah, for sure. And also, the Lions want a second round pick for Galladay. I think they can take a hike with that. It's too much for Galladay. And one more thing about Gettleman. I know I've dragged him consistently in your comments, and I don't like him. I feel like he's done so many things wrong. I think the big make or break for him this year will be if Daniel Jones takes the next step. Because if Jones is bad and is a bust, then he's gone. Because it all depends on the quarterback you take. You can draft good players everywhere, and in my opinion, he has really drafted too many good players. But if he nails Jones, then that's a big feather in his cap, because if you have the franchise quarterback, you can get away with so many mistakes. And I think Seattle has shown you this, and I think Kansas City has shown you this, and so many other teams, like even for a while, even the Houston Texans for a while, they, before Bill O'Brien traded everyone, Deshaun Watson really held that team together. So if they nail the Daniel Jones pick and he becomes like the quarterback that they expect, then then Gettleman has succeeded as a GM. Yep. But if Jones doesn't pan out and he's either average or slightly below average, and we finish with a pick that's not in the top 5, then we're in big trouble. Because for me, you can't be in quarterback hell. That's the worst place you can be. And we either need to completely bottom out and we finish with top 3 picks so we can get one of the quarterbacks next year, or it needs to actually become a franchise quarterback and help us win games.
I agree.
So that's sort of what I feel. And also with Gettleman, I think he needs to actually hit on the O-line for the first time.
John, I'm going to cut you off here because of the fact that we got a couple more callers that we need to get to. For sure. I 100% agree with Gettleman. Like I said, let's see what Gettleman can do. Let's see how he can, and definitely with the offensive line, because of the fact that I think we need to we need to make that leap because, like I said, if people are saying that Daniel Jones is that elite quarterback, I mean, we really need to show, and they're saying we need to give him the weapons, but we also need to give him the protection. The protection was there at times, but he needs more times. He needs more time to throw because of the fact that he does not have, I would say, the ability right now to do multiple reads beyond his first option. But you know what, John? I appreciate you calling. It's
I agree.
I'm glad you
Thanks for having me on, man.
it. And like I said, you've been a great supporter of the channel. And if you could just drop off to the Zoom, we're going to jump on to the next call. And I really do appreciate you coming on, John. And so now we're going to go.
For sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy your Sunday.
You too, my friend. You too. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. So the next person that we're going to drop you down there. All right. The next person we are going to go to, I see LeVar. We're going to go. Well, LeVar, you don't have your mic on, so I'm gonna jump over to EK Sports for a minute here. So let's see here. Let's have Mr. ECK Sports, and we're going to ask him to drop in. We're going to ask him to drop in his technology. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, it's good to talk to you. This gentleman is a very young giant YouTuber, or I should say sports YouTuber, and I do follow his channel, and I think he's an up and comer. He's probably only I feel bad because I have socks that are older than him, but you know what? He's been a big supporter, and I appreciate him coming on. And how are we doing today?
Great. I've been wanting to, of course, talk to you for a while, and the dream came true today.
Wow, dream catch. Well, I appreciate that. So what are we thinking today about the Giants, my friend? What do you want to talk about?
So I'm a big off-season guy, and I want to talk about Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson. And I've been pretty much saying the same thing since last off-season. Keep Dalvin and let go of Leonard.
Yep, I agree. I
don't want to pay Leonard Williams 20, 21 million, even like 18, like you said earlier. I feel like once he gets that payday, he's going to go in and have like 3 sacks, maybe 5 tackles for loss, and he's going to really disappoint.
I think he'll always get his tackles, tackles for a loss, yes, but he'll always get his, he, like I've rephrased it before, he's the king of the Alamo sack. But yeah, I've said the same thing. I could see him easily reverting back to 3.5, 5.5 sacks, and they'll people who love him will talk about the pressures. They'll talk about the 61 pressures, and I've said this before, and people have told me in the league that you need to know the result of the pressure. The league does not. People in the NFL do not follow that stat. They follow and that's what film analysts do. They follow the result of the pressure. They don't say, well, he had 61 pressures, because I've said it before, the duck over in, with the Chargers, he was one of the most highest pressured quarterbacks as a rookie, and he had an insane completion percentage. So
yeah.
I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah. And in terms of like free agency, I think one guy that, like an offensive lineman, he's kind of a veteran. He can play both guard and tackle. I like Matt Fellows. I believe he only gave up like 2 sacks. I'm not sure how many snaps he played, but he was pretty solid. And I feel like we need a versatile offensive lineman, because I think Matt Peart, the first like 15 games, looked really good. Or should I say first like 13 or 14. But
right.
After that, he just wasn't looking good. And I mean, like, Shane Lemieux and Will Hernandez are question marks. So if we can get a guy who can play both guard and tackle, that would really help our team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about the offensive line because I've said it before. There may be more holes in this offensive line than there was last year. I know I always talk about Matt from Connecticut, but he played sparingly. He played. If you take a look at his snap count, when they drafted him, I said he's going to be a project player. He's going to take 2 to 3 years, and that's what most scouts said about him. And I'm still seeing that. Shane Lemieux needs to figure out his pass blocking. I'm not against Nick Gates, but you don't go out and sign a center to a futures contract that is almost, it's at $2 million when that's unheard of in the league. So they're either going to move Nick to somewhere else on the line, and Andrew Thomas is coming off the ankle injury. You got Nate Solder coming back. You got question marks with Will Hernandez. It's it's not looking 100% good right now.
And I don't think he'll cost that much, so I think he'd be good to sign.
Well, how much do you think he'll cost?
He definitely won't be that cheap. Something kind of affordable, like maybe 7 million.
Okay, I could see that. I think he might hold out for. I think he might try to get a little bit more, but it's hard to because offensive lineman is offensive defensive lineman, of course, is the lifeblood of the team a lot of times, and most people say it's a quarterback, it's a running back. I always say it's the big guys up front because if you can't get pressure and you can't protect your quarterback or open up the holes, you're not going to go very far, and in your game plan whatsoever. Who else do you like in the draft? Who would you? You know what? I got a better question for you. Who would you take at 11?
I've always been on the Galladay train, but because I think he's getting tagged. He may have already gotten tagged. And Robinson, here's the thing with Robinson. He probably wants to go to a team that is in win now mode. I think that we are trending upwards, but I actually have my free agent prediction soon, and I have him going to a team that made the playoffs last year because I think that that's what he wants to go to. And if we're talking about the draft, one guy I really like because of that is Jalen Waddle. I'm an Alabama fan. I think he is special. He's really good at jump balls, even though he's 5'10". Everyone talks about his speed, which he's great at. He can run a ton of routes. He is so versatile, and he would fit so well with this offense. So I definitely like him. And in terms of edge rushers, I don't like anyone for the Giants except Azeez Ojulari.
Okay.
Why? Because I don't like what he pays. I don't think he fits our scheme. Jalen Phillips I like, but he doesn't fit our scheme either. Gregory Rousseau, please no. And then
I must be the only Giant fan that likes Gregory Rousseau. And I talked to a gentleman in Miami who I value his opinion, and he said the same thing, that he is JPP-esque. And they talk about his lack of athleticism. They talk about the fact that he played more on the inside at times than he did at the edge. And but he created such a mismatch on the inside. I think he can still do the same on the outside as well. And a lot of people that I remember them Giants drafting JPP. I remember 100%. Everyone was like, who? Everyone hated the pick, and then, 2 Super Bowls later, and 80 something sacks. I mean, hey, he turned out to be somewhat a Giant legend until, of course, that he blew himself up. Hey-oh.
Yeah, I was never. I'm just not really a fan of Greg Rousseau. But I want to talk about cuts.
Okay.
So for me, I want to cut Nate Solder. I know this thing of he could stay. Maybe unless he would be able to take a big restructure. Unless he would want to take a big restructure because he is not close to.
If you cut him, no matter what, you're still on the hook for $10.5 million in dead cap space. You're only saving $6 million.
Right. Yeah. So maybe we could restructure him. I'm fine with restructuring him as long as we save that $6 million. I'd like to actually get over that because he is not worth anything close to $16.5 million. He's worth what, 4? He's not worth much. So
no,
I would.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would. Maybe restructuring would be a good thing to do. I also want to restructure Zeitler too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to cut Zeiler because they see that cap number go down. But again, if you're opening up that another hole on the line, Zeiler is more than capable. He is more than a dependable offensive lineman. I would call him above average. But even being above average, when you're above average on a bad team, a bad line, then you're great. I would like to see him stick around for at least 2 more years to some of the younger players can kind of maturate.
I'm thinking the same thing. So, Entertainment Talking Sports, I'm a subscriber of his channel. I actually took a screenshot of this. So, he found a way that we'd cut Nate Solder, we'd restructure Zeitler, we'd cut Tate, we'd restructure Martinez and Shepard a little bit, and then we'd cut Pulley, Toyolo, Mayo, and Core, and then that goes to $48 million. But he did cut Solder post to him first, so which is saves $10 million. So instead, I -4 from that, so $44 million to spend. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, but the difficulty is people talk about restructuring other person's contracts. There's no, Blake Martinez is in his second year of his contract. I mean, I don't know from a agent standpoint if his agent would even allow him to consider restructuring the contract unless you're adding more money and more years to the back end of the deal, which will then push the salary cap. Everyone keeps talking about the big salary cap number we have in 2022. But if we keep extending guys and we keep moving guys out, that 90 million goes down to 80 million, goes down to 60 million. So we need to play. And I've said this before, we need to play long ball. We need to play. And that's why I don't think the Giants are going to make a huge splash in free agency. I think they're going to get some second tier guys, and that's not going to make the fans happy. But Joe Judge is building a team for the future, not for the immediate.
And actually, the Martinez and Shepard one, it wasn't that much. It was $2.25 million for Martinez and only $3 million for Shepard. So it wasn't that much.
That's a lot for me. if someone's going to restructure me $3 million, I'm not going to be happy. Yeah, I know I'm getting the money later in life, but I might, like I've said before, I got kids. I got to pay for that Ferrari. I got to pay for that big house.
Right. So, and then in terms of free agents, I've already talked about Matt Feller, but because of what's going on with the wide receivers, and I like Hassan Reddick, but I'm starting to fall into the Yannick Ngakoue train. I think at this point he's kind of more of a second tier free agent now that this past season, and he's still got 8 sacks, which I'm fine with paying him like 14, 15 million. He'll get the forced fumbles. And the stopping the run, that's definitely a liability of his. But I think he'd fit well in our scheme. I'd be fine if he got 8 sacks, a couple forced fumbles. I think that's valuable.
Oh, I agree, and I was not a Yannick Ngakoue fan in the beginning. Then he got traded twice. I laughed because we predicted him going to Baltimore, and even after he got traded to Minnesota, I still said he was going to end up in Baltimore because, like I said, he's from that area, and the Raiders really won. And he had 8 sacks on a line that was, full of all-stars. And I'm glad that he kind of had off season because I think he will go down to the $14-15 million range. And I've said it before, and I don't think he liked this signing, but I like pairing him with KJ Wright. And I know KJ Wright's an older linebacker, but if you want to look for someone that can help him contain the edge on the run, you put them both on the same side of the line. Then I'm not as concerned with Yannick holding his edge because I have a quality linebacker.
Yeah, I really like KJ Wright because he's not even going to cost that much, I would say.
No, I think he may want to go to a contender because he's at that point in his career, but you never know.
Right. But I was thinking about the linebacker position. I was thinking we have both Peppers and McKinney who have linebacker flexibility.
Well, they play most of their snaps in the box though too. Same with basically most of their safeties have played a majority of their snaps. I think Peppers played something like 50% in the box, and McKinney played something like McKinney because McKinney was playing basically in the slot when he first came back. But Logan Ryan even played something like 30-40% of his snaps in the box. So he was you're right, he's a quasi linebacker.
I would put Logan Ryan at free safety. And then I'd kind of switch out Peppers and McKinney. But, it just makes our defense that much better. And it would give us 4-3 flexibility because if we sign KJ Wright, right? You get it?
Yep.
If we sign KJ Wright and we could move to a 4-3, we could have Martinez on the inside, KJ Wright on Yannick Ngakoue's side because of his run-stopping ability. Yannick, that's not great. And then put one of the safeties at the other linebacker spot, and then you have both safeties. You have one of Peppers and McKinney at strong safety, and the other at linebacker, and then you have Logan at free safety.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And you know what, my friend, I appreciate you coming on. We got one more call because we're going to try to keep this under an hour today. Do you want to give a quick plug for your channel?
Oh, sure. Okay, so my channel name is ECK Sports. There's only like, if you search it up, there should only be like 2. I'm the one with like, I think around 50 subscribers. I do a bunch of sports content. MLW Wiffle Ball. If you like baseball, I think you should go check it out. Really, just any sport in general. I do baseball. I do basketball, football, all that stuff.
Well, like I said, and I really do appreciate you coming on and being one of the test subjects for this call-in thing. I think it's the sound equipment seems to be working well. Like I said, we are going to set up an 800 number next time, so we just wanted to make sure the soundboard was working. But I appreciate you coming on. I watched your channel. I've commented on some of your stuff. I appreciate you watching me and giving me, some really good takes and some great insight. And again, I enjoy your Sunday, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yep, you too.
All right. Thanks. We're going to go to our last caller. He's probably been waiting the longest, and hopefully he's still there. LeVar, are you there?
I am here.
You are there, man. I appreciate you holding on. I appreciate you being a test subject here for us to see how this new sound equipment works. And how are you doing this Sunday?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am not too bad. I'm talking Giants. It's a Sunday morning. I've had my coffee. It's always a good day when you can talk to people that, enjoy the Giants as much as I do.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get into it. I think my biggest controversy with the team right now is our defense.
Really?
Because if you look at it, we have a lot of we stacked at the safety position.
Yes, that's true.
We have a amount of linebackers and edge rushers that we look to come back. Zoe Carter, O'Shane Zimenez, those are 2 players which I have high looks on. I just love O'Shane. Lorenzo Carter's been good to me since he's been with us, aside from his injuries and whatnot. But yeah.
Can you turn that? You got some background noise. You got a TV on in there? Can you turn that? This is just like a radio show. Can you turn down that TV or radio?
Oh no, I'm gonna try to go somewhere quiet.
Okay. Just yeah.
Okay, is this better?
Oh, much better now. We can hear you much better now.
All right, cool.
I am actually, and I'll let you know this right off the bat. I was and still am a huge O'Shane Zimenez fan. I actually got a jersey for his rookie season. I've only worn it twice, but I still think he has the potential to come back and do something. The same with Lorenzo Carter, but this is going to be the make or break year for both.
Exactly, especially when you have the rookie linebackers and edge rushers that we just drafted, like Carter Coughlin, Cam Brown, Tay Crowder. Those are some of my favorite rookies that we drafted on the defensive side outside of Xavier McKinney and Darnay Holmes.
Yes.
Darnay Holmes.
Yeah, I was, I was not a Darnay Holmes fan, and I admit that freely. And he proved me 100% wrong.
Right, and in the draft, when it comes to our team, I still look at the defense because I don't know what they're going to do with our cornerbacks. They may keep our safety stacked, and I forget to mention Adrian Colbert, who's really good in the backfield. But we have about 3. I think it's Sam Bill, Quincy Wilson, and it might be another cornerback that we have fighting for the number 2 spot. So I want to know if they'll try to solve that problem in-house or in the draft.
I personally have said this before. I am a huge Patrick Surtain Jr. or the second fan. I'm not sure he's going to get past Atlanta. I think 5. But I would personally, if one of the 2 big corners were there, I would personally go that way. If I had my choice, I'm going to take Surtain. But I'm at 11. At 11, I don't think he's going to be there at 11. But if he was, and even if he was and a wide receiver was there, I would still probably have to lean toward it. It's not that I don't think that Isaac Yiadom is worth the money, but he got that accelerator on his contract because of the new CBA, and I'm not paying him $2 million. And why?
I actually think if Yiadom stays alone and he learns under Bradbury and Ryan, I think he'll get it together. He was not my favorite when he first got here. The guy was terrible to me. Every time we got caught in the situation, it was either him or Ryan Lewis, and it pissed me off.
Oh, I know. Isaac Yiadom is not a name that we speak much in the online Big Blue house.
I know, yeah.
I mean, there was plenty of plays. 11, but what were you thinking at 11?
I was thinking at 11. I might get my head with him, but I like Kwity Paye at the edge rusher position, especially with what we're going through with the D line as far as Leonard Williams over Dalvin Tomlinson. First of all, I want to keep Dalvin. He's more consistent at his position than Leo is.
Yes.
Leo's results depended on how well the other three guys on the line would work, or how well the other two, because sometimes we only sent three rushes to the quarterback. But Kwity Paye, he kind of reminds me of a young Justin Tuck who needs to be developed and worked on. I watched some of his film, and his rushing ability, like he's a straight powerhouse. You can't stop the dude. He has this give up attitude, similar to Marcus Golden. And Marcus Golden couldn't always outpower guys, but that never got him a lot of sacks. He was with us.
Right.
And Kwity Paye is a much bigger, stronger rusher than Marcus Golden was.
No, I you know what, Marcus Golden, and I like Marcus Golden, and I
miss him. I
don't understand why we signed him and really didn't play him until we traded him. I mean, he even came out and said, "Hey, they didn't play me." Now, he didn't tear it up with Arizona, but he was consistent. I think he only got 3 sacks, but he was still able to generate a rush. And one of our biggest issues, of course, was generating a consistent pass rush. So if he's going to be like Marcus Golden, if he's going to be Marcus Golden from 2019, I'm down with that.
Yeah, and it's still confusing because I don't know where to go at 11 with defense or offense. Because I like where our defense is. We only need a couple of steps, closer to being that, supreme defense to me. Our problem is the offense. We got to fix the line, and we got to give Daniel Jones some more weapons. I actually like our offensive line this season. If you ask me, it's the best offensive line we had in about 3 to 4 years.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, this is the best offensive line we had in 3 to 4 years. If Eli Manning was behind this offensive line that we have now, we'd have went to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I'm a big Eli Manning fan, but I would say maybe Eli Manning 5-6 years ago, but not the 38-year-old Eli Manning.
Yeah. Don't give me 38-year-old Eli.
Yeah, don't give me. And that's the problem with a lot of people. They only remember Eli from the last 3-4 years. They don't remember the other 13. And that's what kind of disturbs me when they try to compare his woes to Daniel Jones's woes. And most people forget Eli progressed from year one. I mean, he had such a bad rookie season, but he progressed from year 1 to year 2. And I understand Eli had a better team, but there was still a progression for him. And I don't know, did you see any progression from Daniel Jones from year 1 to year 2? Because we all know that he's our Pro Bowl quarterback.
Indeed, and that's what no funniness behind it. That is our guy, Daniel Jones. He what can I say about him? Well, the fumble and stop, I seen him look through his progressions a little more than what he would, and if he can't find something instead of forcing it, like he did that play, it was to Golden Tate. He threw in full coverage, and Golden Tate just leaped in the air and grabbed the ball.
It's scary. I remember that.
Yeah, my heart stopped for a second when it happened. Because I'm like, don't you see all those guys right there? But Golden Tate came up with it. He's getting better. And the fact that we're keeping Jason Garrett, I think, will further advance him. and picking up a quality wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I think now, do you think that the Giants are going to go out and find that quality wide receiver or get wide receiver depth in free agency or later rounds of the draft?
I see it in later rounds of the draft. I think I see them going defense at 11, offense in the second, and I mean offense by the O-line, picking the best O-line person that we can find. And in round 3, we take the best wide receiver available. Unless we bust a move and, finagle the trade. I really want to take that tight end, Kyle Pitts. Yeah. I want Evan Ingram out of here.
My only problem is, and I've said this multiple times, if you take a look at Kyle Pitts' scouting report and Evan Ingram's scouting report, the only difference between the two is scouts say that Pitts is more of a willing blocker. The reports are almost identical. Now, that does not mean anything because everyone's career arc is different, but I get worried when I see almost the exact same player and the scouts are saying the exact same thing.
Well, one thing I don't think Kyle Pitts has a problem with that Evan Ingram does is dropping the ball.
Yeah, I caught more passes.
Dropping the ball is serious.
I caught more passes than Evan Ingram this year. I had less drops.
Sloppy Joes in a school lunch fight than Evan Ingram will catch a football.
Oh my God! Hey-oh, that's my job. But
that was crazy.
But I agree. I mean, like I said, I want to get Evan Ingram out the door. I don't know, actually what that trade value is. I mean, if we got a 4th or a 5th rounder for him, I'd be happy. But right now, the rest of the league sees what the Giants sees. So it doesn't mean that a team is exactly. And I get a little, it bothers me a little bit when people are like, well, we'll get a 1st-round draft choice for him because he used to be a 1st-round draft choice. Well, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did, because then we could have traded a bunch of guys and got 1st-round draft choices back, but I don't know, man. I know Daniel Jones needs a weapon, but if I'm not going corner and one of the receivers is there at 11, I think I got to go receiver.
Got to go receiver. That's understandable.
I mean, that's
how do you feel about Saquon coming back?
Saquon coming back, man. The only thing, he's only 4 months removed from his surgery. And I think a lot of people forget that because he had to wait till the swelling went down in his knee. So, but he is the kind of guy that if you know anything about him from Penn State, even the injuries and things he's had at Penn State, he's a guy, he's a professional. He'll work hard. He's been a gym rat. He's been a fitness buff. I see him pulling an Adrian Peterson when he tore his ACL and came back like in 8 months. Now, I
think that's what him and OBJ are doing now.
Yeah, they're working out. Am I going to say he's coming back in 8 months? No, I'm not saying he's coming back in 8 months, but I'm saying I think he'll come back to close to what he was. I don't think and a lot of times I've had multiple ACL injuries and surgeries. It's the biggest problem is trusting your leg again and being in the mindset that you forget the fact that you got hurt. And a lot of times it's just a mental issue.
Right.
I mean, and that's
I've had an ACL trying to come back to basketball, not football.
Yeah, well, basketball, in some ways, basketball is even worse because of the fact that, football, it's a start and stop motion. Basketball, you have, consistent fluidity that you're always on the move. So in some ways, you're putting more pressure on that leg. I mean, I played basketball in high school, but I never got to play in college because I'm short. Well, I'm short. I'm not short, but I'm short for being what I was, which is pretty much a center. Nobody really wants a 6'1" center, or a 6'1" post-up player. But I mean, it's I see him coming back. I see him making. I don't see him not having the ability to be what he was. And I think that's going to be the conundrum the Giants are going to have when it comes up to his contract year. I think they're going to pick up his 5th-year option, and then we're going to kind of have to see where we go from there. And I don't cry for Saquon Barkley because he got drafted 2nd overall. So he's still, even his 5th year, is going to be I think number 8th top paid running back in the league. So I'm not going to cry for him financially, but I'm seeing him being what he used to be.
Well, I have high hopes and expectations for him when he comes back, especially behind a better offensive line than what he had coming in.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. And LeVar, you know what? I'm going to let you go, my man, because we're going to be wrapping up the show in a few minutes. I'm going to grab some questions here in the chat. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you waiting. Like I said,
Cool.
I'm just, like I said, I appreciate anyone that subscribes to the channel and leaves comments and, is active, because of the fact that, everyone else on the chat are the ones that make me keep doing this. So again, I really appreciate you taking the time out Sunday and being involved with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, LeVar, I appreciate it. And thank you again for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right. You too. Go Big Blue.
There you go. All right, guys. That was the wrap up. That was the last caller of the day. We're going to try to do this a little bit more. Just we'll run over. Usually we end at 12, but we'll run over for a couple minutes just so we can answer some of the questions that we're seeing. Just to let everyone know, there is going to be I've talked about this briefly. We're going through all this new technology because we're going to be doing another venture. We're kind of going to be doing a streaming radio show coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be all nonsense sports. I'll give everyone some more information when it becomes readily available. So we've just been testing all the new equipment to make sure it works. And I think we're going to add this call-in feature to our next live stream that we do. And we're probably going to try to open it up to everyone that we see. Love that jersey. Let's see here. Thank you. You know what it is? It is I don't know if you can see it, but it is an all-time Phil Simms 1987 jersey, I think it is. I think it's an Apex jersey when they used to make the stuff before Nike. Yeah, Dave Brown, Kim, to name a few. I don't know what conversation that's going on there, Jose G, but I want to know what's going on with that one. I didn't see all the chats. But anytime I see Dave Brown and Kent Graham, to name a few, I get concerned. I don't even know. Great point, Gio. Terrible. Yeah, there we go. We had terrible quarterbacks between Simmons and Eli Manning. Yeah, we did. And we had terrible quarterbacks before Phil Simms. We had the Jeff Rutledge eras. We had the Joe Pisarchiks. We had some really bad guys. We've had the Craig Morton's, sighting. And I told the story a million times how my grandmother gave me a Craig Morton jersey when I was a kid for Christmas, and I cried. I still get crap for that. Maybe I shouldn't have cried, but I was like 10. I didn't know any better. Let's see here. I'm worried about Barkley and Shepard with the concussions. Vinny G, my man. Hey, what's going on? You know what? I am concerned about the concussions with Shepard. I've said it a million times before. I think that he needs to, I don't want to sign Samuel because I've said it before. I think he is basically a Sterling Shepard clone, but without the injuries. So I don't want to pay for a guy that we're going to be concerned about, that's going to be the same that we have on the roster. But then, of course, the same guy we have on the roster gets concussion. So unless you're going to waive Shepard and sign Samuels, then you still leave a hole at the wide receiver position. And I think that's, we would still need another guy here. I'm trying to scroll down here to see the other comments. We were getting some good questions there. I got a question for everyone else. Did everyone enjoy the call-in portion? I know we were kind of testing this, and I'm just curious because I would like to try to open this up completely, to everyone when we do a live stream. And the reason why I did this on a Sunday is because I wanted to, just keep it light and simple. But does anyone think we should add this as a feature on the next live stream? Is that a thumbs up? All right. The question should also be, will people actually participate? I think it was great though. I requested 4 people, and I got a bunch of emails, and those that were not able to make it on, I do apologize. Like I said, we were only able to take 4 this time. We're going to open it up completely to more, but if everyone does appreciate it, I do think we'll add it, not every week, but we'll add it. Samuel can play outside and he's only 24. He's going to get better. Call-ins were great. Thank you, Vinny G. I'm a little upset that you didn't call in. Oh, you have a head cold. You're not feeling well. So wait, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a slide on that one. Cause I got a head cold too today, to be honest. My allergies have been killing me. It's this darn weather. Yes, you should use Yardstream. Well, you know what? I didn't use Yardstream because of the fact that I'm trying to run through a soundboard. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as a 800 number, and it's going to go into a queue, and it's just going to be like literally just like a radio show. So it'll make it easier this way. But I do think that I do think it went well, and I think I really do appreciate it. The only time I cried over the Giants was the playoff game in 2016. It was the first winning season I saw the Giants have in the play. Well, that's a good reason to cry, man. That's not a bad reason to cry. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem crying at all. What's your gut feeling about the Giants letting Leonard Williams walk? Rolly, what's going on, my man? I was hoping you were going to call in. You know what? I have no problem letting Leonard Williams walk. I've said this a million times. He's not worth the money. If you think he's worth the money, LT has said it best.
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Because I think you have to be on that to think he's worth $20-something million. I really do. Because he's just not there. I mean, he gets the pressures, yes. He gets does he have the continuity of the line? I think losing Dalvin Tomlinson will cause more of an issue than losing Leonard Williams. And I think we can replace Leonard Williams taking that salary. And even if you want to sign two guys, at that salary to play that edge or to play multiple edge positions, I'm down with that. I think that's what it is. But thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Bad cough would. You know what? We don't want bad cough. You know what? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good, especially nowadays. You want to take care of that, my friend. You want to make sure that you're taking care. Drink some hot tea. That's what I'm always told. Tag and trade. You know what? I love this comment, and we're going to run just for a couple more minutes here. Tag and trade. I like the idea of tagging and trading. The only problem is you need to make sure you can train him. You can trade him once he signs that contract. Because if you do not trade him and he signs that contract, you are on the hook for $19.4 million, I think it is. And it's again the value. Yannick Ngakoue got traded because the value of his contract and his tag and the way he was set up. Leonard Williams is not Yannick in reference to the ability to get to the quarterback. And if you have that, you have to be careful what you wish for, because honestly, it could screw up our cap for a while. Because what if you don't trade him till later? And then the other issue is the fact that if you tag him, it may hurt your ability in free agency unless you're going to turn around and trade him quickly. So those are my only two questions. Plus Leo plus Leo was in a contract year. It looks like his stats was, yes, he is in a contract year. Exactly. And that's exactly the problem. What would LT be worth if he, it's funny. LT, if he was playing now, he would be a $30 million linebacker because of the fact that he was so transcendental of the game that his ability. I mean, Joe Gibbs came out and even said, back in even 82, that they had to game plan for LT. They changed everything. And Joe Bugler was the line coach at the time at Washington. And he even said, they tried putting a tight end. They tried blocking with a running back. They tried blocking him with a tight end. They tried blocking him with a tight end and a running back. They tried blocking him with a tackle or a guard. Nothing worked. So yeah, he'd be worth like $40 million. I'm going 30 because I forget what Russell Wilson got, but I'm going 30. And you know what? LT, he changed the game. He revolutionized the position. I love when people go, Khalil Mack is LT, and even Belichick came out and said you can't compare the two. LT was a once in a lifetime talent. How the Saints passed him to take George Rodgers, I don't know. We should be glad. We should send the Saints a Christmas card every year, just thanking them for taking George Rodgers. But yeah, he was beyond the team. Pay Daniel Jones $40 million a year. Hey-oh. Yeah, I don't think we're doing that. Or would we want this one? Because this one you got to be doing.
Point. Don't smoke crack.
$40 million a year. You know what? I would give Daniel Jones $40 million a year if he could throw more than 11, 12 touchdown passes. I would be happy just to do that. But let's see what else we got here. LT would get like $28 million. I think he would. Yeah, I think he probably would. or he would get. I could see him breaking the bank, especially if he came off his rookie contract. I think it would be crazy. Here's a question I wanted to answer. I saw this before. If Trey Lance falls to them, I'm taking him. You know what? It's not something Gettleman would do unless, and I've said this before, the Giants talk Daniel Jones up too much. And they talk Daniel Jones up, but nobody's asking them. So, is that just the used car sales and smokescreen? But if Trey Lance fell to 11, I'm definitely trading back. I'm not risking the Daniel Jones factor because he's owed $15 million in dead cap space this year, $8.5 million next year, no matter what we do with him. So he's going to be on the team for the next 2 years. But I would trade back. Tim, were you a big Harry Carson guy? I don't know. Hold on a second. Does my autograph picture of Harry Carson answer that question? I go back, my friend. I go back to to the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Of course, I go back to the Crunch Bunch, which was Brian Kelly, Brad Van Pelt, Carson, and Taylor. I still love it. I go back to when it was Reasons, Banks, Carson, and Taylor. I've always been a huge Carson fan. I think it was terrible that he did not get into the NFL Hall of Fame, earlier. I don't know how he didn't, but you know what? He was big in our house. He was big with my father. So I am a big fan. We should sign Leo. What is your thoughts on that? No, I'm not signing Leo. I think I've answered that a couple of times, but I'm not signing. I am not signing Leo. If I have the wherewithal, I am letting him go. I am signing 1 to 2 players that can handle the edge with that cap space. He's not worth $20 million. If he wants to come back at 16, I would think about it. But I can easily see him going from his 11.5 sacks back to 5.5 quickly, rather quickly. I want us to sign Corey Davis. What's funny with Corey Davis? A couple of years back, everybody loved Corey Davis. That's all you ever heard about. Corey Davis, Corey Davis, Corey Davis. We got to sign Corey Davis. And now you don't hear it as much. And his, what was it? Tennessee thought so highly of him that they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. They're letting him walk away. I mean, I think he would be a nice big target. I do think he would come inexpensively. If he came on the cheap, I would sign Corey Davis. But I just find it interesting that sometimes, fans get so in love with a player because of their name, and then you go back and they're like, and then it's like 6 weeks later, there's some other guy out that they forget about. Bold of you to assume Daniel Jones. That's true. That is a bold thing. Let's see. Sorry, I don't see Davis. Yeah. Let's see here. All right, the money can go to Dalvin. I agree, Carlos. I agree 100%. The money should go to Dalvin Tomlinson. He is a homegrown Giant. He wants to be here. You never hear anything from Dalvin Tomlinson's agent. You never do. You haven't heard anything from him. But I would keep him 100%. We're going to go on for a couple more minutes here, guys. I'm going to grab a couple more questions. I'm going to have to log out because I have to go to Target. My son got a slinky, and he got 2 slinkies, and they intertwined them together. So now we have to go get another slinky. Let's see here. Would you draft an edge? Would you draft an edge in the draft if we trade down? Yes, maybe. I don't know. It depends on who's there. Like I said, I am a Rousseau fan. I would take him at 11. I don't. If we traded down and he was there, I still think we may potentially trade with New England. I think drop down to 15 because, like I said, they have a plethora of 4th-round draft choices. So, 4th round. Yeah, 4th round draft choices. I was right with that. So I could see them moving down. It's the Gettleman move because Gettleman never moves down. But I could potentially see that. How much would a guy like Bud Dupree? I like Bud Dupree. I like him. Now, he got injured the last couple weeks of the season, so his value is not going to be as high as it was, but he is an integral part of that Pittsburgh defense, so I don't think he's going anywhere. It's not because of the name. I like him because he's a well-rounded receiver that can help. Oh, no, I agree with you, Rolly. I think I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking to general people. Like I said, people fall in love with the name. You are probably one of my most I would say there's a lot of guys, but you usually have, and not usually, I would say 99% of the time, I agree with your points because you have valid, well thought out posts, and a lot of, and I'm going to say, it's great though. And I'm not trying to blow up smoke on anyone, but I get some great freaking comments. Agree with me, you disagree with me. This last 2 months, the comments have been fantastic. Even the ones that challenge me, and I'm just saying it right now, you don't need to apologize if you don't agree with me, because I want you to disagree with me. I'm not always right. Ask my wife. She'll tell you that 100% of the time. Hey-o. But, I want people to disagree with me. I want people to talk. I want people to have a different opinion, because I think that makes for a better channel. And I think just having that allows us to have differences of opinion. And I think, and I really do, like I said, the comments, the last, I would say 2 months, 3 months, and they've always been great before, but 2-3 months, man, they have been solid, rock on. I tried to really comment on every comment. Now, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult because some comments, some videos get like a couple hundred comments, but I try to reply to each comment. But like I said, they're fantastic. And they're also, they just allow me to help create better content. That's why we here. I agree. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. You got the best show in my opinion. Well, thank you, Vinny G. I really do appreciate that. And the same with Jose G. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I really enjoy doing this. We're going to wrap it up today, but only because of the fact that, like I said, I do have to, I do have to go out. I appreciate everyone that came in. I appreciate everyone that joined the stream. I hope everyone has a fantastic Sunday. Have a great rest of the week. We got some big dates coming up in March, so that's gonna be 100% fun as well. So we're gonna have some great videos. We'll have a new video on Monday, and you know what, guys, I'm gonna sign it off right there. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We're bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.